It's easy to disprove evolution nowadays. We'll briefly look at what's required to assemble the protein hemoglobin. Please remember, if evolution can't happen at the molecular level, it can't happen at all. I explained in a previous video the total length of DNA in one human body comes out to 34 billion miles. That's 34 billion miles of written code in one human being. It's a genetic sentence that would have to write itself, which can't happen. We'll look at hemoglobin, except instead of using DNA, we'll use amino acids. Hemoglobin is a molecule which requires 537 amino acids, but there are 20 amino acids from which to choose. So you have a 1 in 20 chance to get the correct amino acid, and you have to get it right 537 times in a row. Getting 1 out of 20 correct 537 times in a row is beyond what statisticians consider possible, but it's about to get worse than impossible. The reason why is that when you look at the molecular level, you don't just look at the sequence of the amino acids and DNA, but you also look at the orientation of these molecules, which is called chirality. With DNA and amino acids, they come in equal amounts of left and right-handed molecules. They're mirror images of one another, but they aren't the same, just as you can't fit a left-handed glove on your right hand. The trouble for evolution is that amino acids have to be 100% left-handed molecules, and if you get just one right-handed molecule, it destabilizes the whole structure. This is like flipping a coin 537 times in a row where you have to get heads every single time. Whenever I flip a coin, I usually get half heads and half tails, but maybe I'm not doing it right. But here you have to get the correct sided molecule every single time. Chirality is the exclamation point as to the catastrophic failure of evolution, as it is a requirement for both DNA and amino acids. I'll explain in another video how chirality makes time work against evolution instead of for it. But for now, a molecule like hemoglobin evolving by chance is doubly impossible, and you need to get the correct sequence and orientation, but it's about to get worse. The third and final step we'll look at is the assembly of each molecule. When you have the building blocks like DNA and amino acids, they have to be assembled together. They can't just sit there unattached to one another. It takes 90 chemical steps to link one amino acid to the next. So in our example, with hemoglobin, you have 537 amino acids. You have to take one amino acid, then by 90 chemical steps, link it to the second, then 90 chemical steps, you link it to the third, and so on 537 times without mistake. Now let's put it all together. To make one hemoglobin protein, you have a 1 in 20 chance of getting the correct amino acid, and you have to get the correct one every time 537 times in a row. But it can only be left-handed amino acids used out of a pool of left and right-handed amino acids. Even if you get the correct one out of 20, you cannot get a single right-handed one, or the whole thing is done for. Then it's 90 chemical steps to link it to the next amino acid, and you have to get every step correct 537 times in a row without a mistake. All of this to get one hemoglobin. Every red blood cell in your body carries multiple hemoglobin proteins, and your body makes an unbelievable 2 million red blood cells per second. That's not 2 million hemoglobins, that's 2 million red blood cells, and each red blood cell is loaded with hemoglobin. No wonder the Bible says we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Evolution is no longer a valid scientific discipline, it's no longer even a valid theory. It's a vestigial relic which can no longer withstand the test of modern scientific scrutiny.